If you love customizing your Linux system, you might want to think twice about installing any random theme you come across. This user on Reddit found it out the hard way. Do not install global themes. Some wipe out all of your data. So this user just installed this global theme through the Global Themes Add New menu under KDE. It deleted all of their data. No questions asked. All drives mounted under my user were gone, down to 0 bytes. Games, configurations, browser data, home folder, all gone. So what happened here? How is this possible? Well, on the OpenSUSE subreddit, some people investigated it, and it appears to at least not be malicious. The culprit appears to be save.sh line 6 that executes rm-rf on the config folder, but somehow it appears that this variable ended up with the value /star. There's a more detailed investigation here. I won't go through it in detail, but I'll link the post below. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. It has happened to several programs in the past, the most notable of which I think is Steam for Linux, where in 2015 there was an issue that moving your Steam directory deleted everything on your drive because it ran rm-rf steamroot/star. But in some cases, steamroot can be empty, resulting in deleting all of your data. This seems like at least part of the problem is using shell scripts for things like this. Don't get me wrong, shell scripts are very convenient, but when it's this easy to make this kind of mistake, it really makes you think about whether or not shell scripts in their current form are really a good idea for anything, really. Now, for KDE's part of this, to give them credit, they've actually responded to this very well. KDE contributor Pointed Stick responded to the post saying, "Geez, how awful. This particular theme has been removed. Too dangerous to live. We're discussing a path forward for making sure this kind of thing can't happen." Good on them for responding quickly. They issued a warning here on their Twitter page and went into a lot of detail on how they're basically responding to this situation. They're providing info about what happened, calling for the community to report themes that have issues, taking extra measures to warn users before downloading themes. Users, of course, already making memes about the situation. But at the end of the day, there's no simple solution to this, right? The fundamental issue here is that themes can execute code. It can run scripts, and these scripts can do basically whatever they want. And it seems like that's really what it boils down to. One of the KDE contributors here, David Edmondson, wrote a blog post on this already. Hats off to them for posting this so quickly, less than a day after the event. It's interesting here to see the perspective from developers versus users. To developers, it's not a surprise that third-party plugins can do this sort of thing. It's as intended. A global theme can ship custom lock screens, custom applets, custom settings, and all of these can run arbitrary bundled code. You can't constrain this without limiting functionality. To that end, there's an explicit warning when downloading plugins. The warning says, the content available here has been uploaded by users like you and has not been reviewed by your distributor for functionality or stability. But users have slightly different expectations, right? When you download something from the AUR or Ubuntu PPAs or sources like that, users have the expectation that they're going to be running some untrusted code and that this is a potentially dangerous operation. However, with themes, it's a little different. As David points out, our issue is phrases like global themes or plasma applets that don't always carry this message that it might be running untrusted code. And some people on Reddit actually were very surprised about this, right? This person is asking, why can a theme just run executable code? I assume that they're just pictures in a config file to tell what goes where. And to be honest, I kind of thought the same thing. I didn't even realize that pretty much any theme on KDE specifically can execute whatever code it wants. So I guess the moral of the story is be aware of what you're downloading and what it does, especially when it comes to running arbitrary code.